Good afternoon, or morning, excuse me. Make sure I'm coming through okay. Oh, excuse me. Hope everybody is well. Paul, how you doing, pal? Nick, how we doing? I was going to do a stream yesterday, but it was Independence Day, so then I forgot it was Independence Day, and I realized, well, there's no real point because probably going to be a quiet day in it, and it turned out to be that. Anyway, back at it today in a positive mood. I don't know why, but you know, got to be positive, even though going through a bad run. You always got to think positive. Ahmed, how you doing, pal? So let's look at the markets today. We'll start with the Rohan. How you doing, pal? Good to see you. We'll start with the index, shall we? Let's start with the index. So the index today, I've put here risk on. It is risk on, right? We're obviously passed through, bumped through all-time highs, pushed up after that NFP on Friday. And to be honest, the NFP on Friday was a bit of a strange one, and it just shows the power of trends, really. So we were on an uptrend. Okay, the job numbers came out was good. I thought the markets might take a wobble. Parsa, how you doing, pal? Haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you back. I thought the markets might have a wobble with that unemployment data, but it seemed to like it. Again, the trend was up. My bias was up, and we did get a good push on because of it. Now, if I zoom in, we're in this obviously correcting mode, and we look to be correcting through time rather than through price. So correction through time is this way, correction through price is obviously this way, right? I think what we get is probably a 20-period catch-up. We've come from a decent move, and buying pressure is still there. Sellers are not taking control. I just think we get a bit of a digestion period for that index to catch up. Now, in saying that, the good thing is, if I bring this up, and this is just, I don't use currency strength meters, but it's always kind of good to see. If we bring the strength up, we've finally got some strength coming into a particular currency. Right now, it's the Aussie and New Zealand. But we haven't had this for, weeks. If I've shown this before, I can't remember if I brought this up in previous streams. But, we've always been kind of nowhere, in no man's land. There's been no particular strength coming into any individual currency. But what we've got now is some Aussie and New Zealand strength. So, the Aussie held interest rates last night. The statement that came out, the market seemed to like that Aussie's got some strength, that Kiwi's got some strength. In the morning, we actually had the yen down here, the dollar down here, and the Swiss down here. So it was looking pretty much risk on. But, markets are all-time highs. We're seeing some wiki rejection candles here on the 4-hour. I just think we consolidate a bit, but let that 20 catch up, and then potentially continuation to the downside, continuation to the upside. Maybe we have a slight corrective here on the daily, but I'm not going to go against that trend. The trend is up, and buying those risk assets, seems to be buying those Aussie, buying the New Zealand, I would even say buying the CAD, makes sense against those risk-off currencies right now. So, the Forex market seems to be catching up with the stock market right now, which is a good thing. It's what we want to see. If we go into the dollar, now, yesterday when I was talking on my stream on the website, I expected dollar weakness on account of this, quite strong move down from NFP. Right, I think we were here at the time. We'd broken through that resistance or support, and it looks to be like we were moving down. Now we got that. In the morning, I actually thought we would continue dollar weakness, but we've got this decent 4-hour candle here. Potentially our ABC corrective. I don't buy it. I have to say I don't buy this dollar strength. Possibly it's just a reaction. We are an uptrend with the dollar, but I don't like. I've said this a few times. I did think we'd get up to here, right? So I was wrong on that. But I did say a few times that I didn't like this chart, and I still don't like this chart, right? I still don't. Maybe we're heading for that loss of momentum. something like this. Again, that's just personal bias, but I don't really buy dollar strength at the moment. Now, if we do, if we do break through and we do push through in the interim, yes, but I do think the best place to look at this is the daily chart. We've had this big bearish engulfer on NFP. Maybe we're just getting a reaction at that level. Maybe this is a corrective. I think the dollar is just in a little bit of a difficult position right now. And maybe we wait until we possibly break this resistance area above that 20 period moving average for potential continuation. But again, I just think it's in a little bit of no man's land. I just don't like where it is. There's conflicting messages on different charts. If I had to put a bias on it now, maybe it's coming for something like this. Possibly a harder, a kind of harder reset before moving to the upside. But again, that daily doesn't look great. So I'll sit on the fence with the dollar, I have to say. I'm not trading the dollar right now anyway. There's no setups in that. But, it's kind of hard to predict with so many conflicting messages, to be honest. Anyway, CAD Swiss. So CAD Swiss, this trade for me is an absolutely A-star setup. I've just entered into it now. I think I've just triggered in on account of this 4-hour setup here. So big cup with handle, and within that handle we've got our head and shoulders. If you want to take it a larger head and shoulders from here, you can. We can take this as a V reversal, corrective, push, 20 period catch up. I mean, everything for me there is perfect, right? Everything in terms of that setup, I love. I like the fundamental bias to it. I like buying CAD. I like selling Swiss. The daily chart as well looks good. Break of this B wave here. If we take A, B, C from this larger basing structure. I wouldn't call this a cup with handle because technically this is too big, but it certainly is a larger ABC. Corrective here, outside bullish engulfer, and we're pushing on roughly, from that 20 period starting to curl up. The hourly looks good. Now I'm saying all this doesn't mean it's going to be a winning trade at all, right? What I'm saying is that for my setup, this is A-star, and I'm happily, taking that long with stops under here, stops underneath that 4-hour swing. Entry in just where it is now. If you want to be a bit safer, yes, you could take your entry above that wick. For me, I don't need to get too technical into it. I'm taking it from this area that I feel is most respected, here, and here, and I'm happily take that CAD Swiss long. So yeah, CAD Swiss to the upside looks good to me, and I think like I said, I don't want to talk too soon, but out of all the setups that I've had recently, this is by far the best one. And it would be nice to see a good push on and some good follow through. And that's the main thing. Follow through is what we've been lacking over the past little while on level breaks. A lot of fake outs, which, has been quite good for the fake out strategy that I'm developing. And what I'll do is I'll do an update on YouTube. I'm doing an update on the website on Thursday, but I'll do an update on that strategy on YouTube on Friday, because it's, as I've said to the guys in the website, the members of the website, it's the most excited I've been about a strategy since I've started trading, just with the risk reward of it. It's really nice. So I'll do that on Friday. Anyway, CAD Swiss to the upside. I like that. UK 100. Now, UK 100 is a little bit messy now. When I do my watch list in the morning, this is obviously a few hours afterwards because I'm in the UAE, so time difference is a little bit off. But you look at this cup with handle, and I was looking at a steady state retest at that time. We can see on open here, it's turned into a little bit messy. So what I would prefer now is this turning into a potential complex. But if we put our control D on here and we look at the highs of this candle, this break is 7147. Right, with this one it is 7149. So with a corrective, or with my correctives, I can't have a breach of these highs. So looking back at it now, that's got to be gone as a retest, right? It doesn't fit my criteria, although it looks quite nice. Even if you end up getting something like this, you know, an AB shallow C, something like that to go long, I can't take it because it doesn't fit my entry criteria, because those highs have been broken, right? So technically now it's a higher high, and I've got to take it off the list, unfortunately, on UK 100. But that looked good. You know, lagging, these kind of European indexes lagging behind the SPX. Some decent news coming out of the UK on, you know, on COVID easing restrictions. I think is it July 19th? I think it's July 19th when they're supposed to be easing social distancing, easing mask rules, etc. So, you know, you may see the UK markets take a bit of a boost from that. You may see the pound take a little bit of a boost from that. But anyway, as a setup, from technical side, I cannot take it. So there you go. NZD Swiss. Now NZD Swiss as well kind of needs to, the context is there, right? We've got a nice cut with handle. The daily context is good, you know, breaking out from this larger kind of channel corrective from obviously this uptrend, breaking through this resistance area. Context is great. However, what we need now is a retest, really, because this is getting to the point where it's a little bit, well, it's obviously extended, but it's, you know, kind of climactic, and we don't want to see that kind of push on, because as you know, most of these climactic moves, you know, kind of snap back, as we've seen, big snapbacks that we've had in these climactics. So if this comes back and retest now, which will probably be around that 40-60 box, right? So your retesting area is roughly around that 38.2 to 61.8 kind of popular retracement areas. If we can get that, then yeah, I'm happy to take that pair long. It wasn't a breakout, and the reason why I couldn't take out a breakout is because we've obviously got no accumulation here, right? If it done something like this, or a cup with handle within a cup with handle, could have taken that as a break. But, you know, now, you know, we need to see some sort of retest here. Probably because of this move, I would prefer it to come in the form of a complex corrective before moving to the upside. But I still like it. You know, I like that trade. I like, you know, the idea of buying the New Zealand Swiss. Obviously, we've seen the New Zealand is strong today. But if we can get a retracement there, certainly because of this daily time frame, you know, that just looks great, doesn't it? Just from a price action point of view, looks great to the upside. So New Zealand Swiss, buying New Zealand Swiss. What else have I got? I've got two more. USD Hong Kong dollar. How's everybody else's trading, by the way? People trading today? People not trading today? Anyone making money? Anyone bought the Aussie or the New Zealand? Hopefully you have. Okay, so this USD Hong Kong dollar. I was looking at this yesterday on You Are a Good Man. Great stuff, Rohan. Like to see it. What are you making money on? What have you bought? Aussie Swiss? Oh, well done, mate. You must have been making a decent trade on that. I'll go into okay, we'll talk about that trade afterwards, right? Because it's always good to get your guys' trades, what you guys are seeing, because, you know, everybody sees stuff differently. Does it mean I'm right? Does it mean, you know, you're right or I'm wrong? Whatever. You know, that's trading. I'm just here to give my opinions, to show how I trade, and hopefully it might help some of you. So USD Hong Kong dollar was looking at a breakout retest. Obviously got a little bit messy at this point in time. However, on the hourly chart, and again, this is one that may have to be taken off. We had this V reversal, and, you know, then a slight failure here. If you don't know, the Hong Kong dollar is a slight risk off currency as well. I know it's an exotic, but that's why we're seeing, you know, dollar strength. Even though we've seen dollar strength in the past 8 hours, this currency pair is moving down. But it is a pair that I like to trade. I like some of these exotics. I think the movements on them are quite nice. However, this has got to move up now and probably reset up for a potential breakout and retest to the upside. You know, the daily looks good. we've had this hammer candle here, but outside bullish engulfing, and if we break through that level, we're obviously breaking through the wicks, and that's one thing that I do like, is a break through those hammer wicks, certainly in the direction of your trade. I think that's good. Can you please see USD Swiss on the 1 hour? Okay, I'll look at USD Swiss and Aussie Swiss after pound CAD. I think pound CAD's the only one that I've got left, but I feel, and again, this was another one that was kind of on my watch list, and looking back at it, the setup there, so the setup is what I was looking at was here. Okay, we've got our V reversal. Right, V reversal here. Reload, come back, and looks to be accumulating. Now the breakout of this area right here is a break above the 200. However, we've got this trend line to contend with this. So when I was looking at it afterwards, you know, because when I do my watch list, I usually, you know, I do my stream, and then I like to look at them again just to kind of see which ones I know I like and which ones I don't. And, you know, with CAD Swiss, in my gut, I was like, I like that trade. With pound CAD, even though it's nice, right, you can even look at this as a head and shoulders, I think the safer option would be to take this from B wave, right? So I'll add these areas, you know, because it's a little bit, again, a little bit of a safer entry. I think although you could get a decent move from this section, I think if you take that trade 100 times, you might lose it a bit more than you win it. So I think getting a setup here on pound CAD is the better option. Although I do like it, I have to say. I do like that potentially to the upside. I just think waiting to this area is a little bit better. Okay, let's go into Aussie. So Rohan, what was your trade? What was your trade on Aussie Swiss? Because it's absolutely motoring. When did you buy it at? I would just be Rohan, and just looking at this chart now, I would just be a little bit wary, right? If you're not taking profits, you know, look at this. You know, you got to be thinking of potentially taking something off the table there because of this massive gap between the 20 period and price action. 69.50. 69.50. Ooh. Wow, well done. Your entry is roughly around here. Where's your stop loss? 69.50. That's your entry. Where's your stop loss? Just want to know what risk reward you've got. 68.80. 68.80. 68.80. Oh, so quite a decent. 68.80. All the way down there. Is it a daily chart trade, I presume? 68.80. Okay, so I kind of see it. So let me ask you, is this what you've done? You've taken the break of this kind of structure here with your stops underneath the kind of lows of the range, right? Okay, I see what you're doing. So it's more of a longer term trade, right? I guess you're kind of doing that underneath there. Yeah, I mean, you look at this again, very similar to New Zealand Swiss, right? Big corrective, look to be breaking out of that corrective now. Yeah, it's not a bad trade. I don't mind that for a longer term, which I presume is a longer term position you've got on. I think if it was shorter term, I would just be a bit wary up here because it does look a little bit climactic. Break of daily, yeah. I see what your trade is. Yeah, good. Well done. Aussie Swiss. USD. Who said USD? Parsa. USD Swiss. Okay, USD Swiss. Which direction are you looking? Are you looking long? Presume you're looking long, right? I would expect. Parsa. Long. Are you in this trade now, or are you waiting for an entry? So for me, it's kind of similar. It's obviously similar to the DXY, right? I have to be honest with you. I don't like the chart. If I had to give my bias on a direction, if I had to give my bias, you know, a break of there obviously changes it to go long. I would say that. I think right now it just doesn't look nice to me, mate. I'll be honest with you, it just doesn't look nice. Maybe you get in that kind of, trend like this, potentially upwards channel. It's not something I particularly like, but I was going to buy it 92.3. Oh, so you're not in it, 92.3. So you're looking to buy it out of this break, right? Roughly about now. Yeah, I think. Listen, look, I think if you're wanting to sell the Swiss, in my personal opinion, and buy something against it, any other currency pair would be better. That's just my personal opinion. Now, that's not to say that I'm right at all. I haven't been right, in June, but yeah. I mean, would I rather buy it than sell it? Yeah, of course I would. You could look at this. I mean, a cup with handle, a break. I mean, you've had your big bullish bar here. I'll be honest with you, Parsa. I don't particularly like the trade. I can't make sense of that, to be honest with you. But yeah, breaking through this area. You can close above that, then great. I mean, nice hammer candle here on a little fake to the downside. Liquidity. There you go. Breakout traders probably stopped out right now. Yeah, don't mind that. Don't mind it. I just worry about that daily chart, to be honest with you. But then again, what do I know? NZD CAD daily. NZD CAD daily chart. I was actually looking short on this for a while, on account of this kind of rising or falling pressure, into this area. But I think you've got to kind of look at it now as, we've rejected this 4 times. It could be a quadruple bottom, certainly from this daily candle. I do expect the CAD to gain a little bit of strength. I think the CAD will catch up because, oil's pushing on, oil's decent. The stocks are pushing. I think the CAD is relatively weak than what it should be, and I can see some strength coming into it. But in terms of that particular trade, I don't know, did New Zealand have news out overnight? I don't think it. I just think the Aussie had news out, right? Yeah, so the New Zealand's probably just kind of following the Aussie or following that risk sentiment, but there's no news out for the New Zealand. So, I mean, do I like it long? Yeah, now I like it long. Yeah, certainly that, if the daily closes like this, yeah, that would be quite nice long. Can't understand JPY. I mean, to be honest, Parsa, a lot of the pairs, a lot of the currencies right now, I can't make sense of either. I think today is probably one of the first days that I'm making a little bit more sense of stuff. But that doesn't mean, it's just what the market has been. It's just what the market has been. There's not been, much sense anywhere. I think, unless you're trading potentially smaller time frames, lower, scalping the markets, maybe you're doing okay. Potentially if, eventually when I get my fake out strategy employed, that'll work really well. But I expect the yen to weaken off. I do expect the yen to weaken off. It might not happen today, with potentially a little corrective, but I do fancy the yen to weaken off, and I still have the bias of buying currencies, risk on currencies against certainly against the yen. Yeah, I think the Delta stuff has kind of gone away a little bit. I think wasn't there a study done with the Pfizer vaccine, and the Pfizer's still 90% effective. You've seen it with the Euros, right? You've seen it with the Euros. There's now 60,000 people going to the semi-finals. Things are starting to open up. It's potentially the beginning of the end, I think. And yeah, I wouldn't buy the yen right now. Put it that way. Unless something significant changes, I wouldn't be buying the yen, personally. Maybe, yeah, personally, I don't think so. Anyway, I wanted to, before I go, for those that don't know, I wanted to show you that, a little bit of that fake out strategy, just because I'm quite excited by it. And if you're members of the website, you'll know this. But I went back and, I was doing some testing. And if we look at these two positions that I would have had, right, as a fake out, For me personally, right? So for me personally, right now on my funded accounts, I risk $4,000, right, per trade. Now, this is not something I'm employing. This is not something that I'm doing right now. But my profit, and I'll show you the actual trades in a second, my profit on these 2 EuroCAD fake out trades would have been in the region of, I think, about $48,000. This is genuinely serious. I've never, and I can't, say it completely because I need more data on it, but geez, I'm so excited about this strategy. Anyway, so this EuroCAD, right, and if I get this, and remember, if I get this 200K, which I think I'm going to obviously try for my free repeat this time, but, I'll be placing $8,000, $8,000 positions, and you think that's almost 100 grand in profit on 2 trades. So that's why I'm so excited about it. Anyway, the first one was here, right, on EuroCAD. So notice I'm looking for extensions, I'm looking for climactic breaks and selling that euro. So selling that euro into breaks of areas that don't look healthy. So as a primarily a breakout trader, breaks that I would never have taken in a million years, and specifically again selling that euro. So we had this break here. Now look at the difference. When we let's take this away here. Right? That's probably the best I can do right now. There you go. So I'll zoom in. Just trying to make this easier for you to see. Okay, here. Right? So on this break of this euro, okay, look at the gap and look at the extension into that 20. Look at the price action going into it, right? There's no accumulation there. There's no context. There's no kind of load up in positions. And for me, again, because I know the euro likes this fake, I know it does. Looking down to smaller time frames for a catalyst. So I use my 4 hour as my context. So the 4 hours where I'm looking for breaks and extensions, climactics into those breaks to sell into any euro strength. Right? So we look at that and we drill down to the 30-minute or 1 hour time frame. Okay? And we get our break. We haven't got our break here. I know we got a reload on this 30-minute chart, but that's okay. Remember, my context is coming from the 4 hour. Right, we push on, and look what we get here. A lovely hammer candle. Right, hammer candle and volume increasing relative to the previous kind of price action. Right, so for me, and again, this is still in development. This is still going on, but I'm looking at a sell stop of this candle, stop loss a few pips above, and use the parabolic SAR for my kind of trade management system. So before I was thinking 1-2 trades, but now after a bit more testing, thinking 2 trades and get out on that kind of parabolic. So in this particular trade, I would have been out on this candle. So that was about a 6-to-1 R on that particular trade. Secondly, there was another one as well. If we drill back a bit, here, right, the level break was roughly at this area. And, if you're a part of the website, you'll know this because I bang on about it all the time. But anyway, can see this, right? Let's go back to the 4 hour for our context, right? We've got a break of this area. But again, look at the 20 period down here. Look at this price action going into that area. It's just completely extended. It's not climactic, but it's certainly extended. And on that break, you're looking for sells straight away. And drilling down to the lower time frames, again, 30-minute or 1 hour. There's your perfect hammer catalyst, right, on relatively higher volume going into that. So that tells me these institutions who, remember, want to take retail people's money. I mean, I'll say it, that's what I believe, that's what I think happens all the time. So why don't we go with them? Sell stop here, stop loss above the candle, parabolic SAR, you're out about here. Again, this was about another 6, maybe 8-to-1 or something like that. Ridiculous trades. So for me now, I'm paying a lot of attention to this euro charts, and I'm going to start with the euro, potentially moving on to the Swiss as well, because I know through years and years of experience trading the markets that those two pairs like to fake out, and when they fake out and when you get it right, they certainly go. And the difference is, before I know I'm dragging on here, but the difference is here, right? If we take the Euro AUD, okay, we can look at this chart, right? Probably your level was here, your original level was here. You could look at that chart and say, well, Ryan, was there an opportunity in there? No, because you've actually got a decent context for longs there, right? Right, you've got your reload. There's no extension on that time frame, right? There's no extension there. So looking back at that, there was no entry there. So it's not on everything. Again, the main thing we're looking at is that extensions, those climactics for the euro into levels where it shouldn't really be, and then drilling down to your smaller time frames for your context, and hopefully making a buttload of money, because the risk reward is something that I've personally not experienced, and it's something that I've developed over the past couple of months. I think over Christmas I was thinking, like, do you know what? Let's try and develop something here that gets us with those institutions, right? With those big moves, and if you catch on to a month like this month would have been, Jesus Christ, you're on easy street. Imagine you get 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14R in 2 trades. I mean, that's just unbelievable, right? And like I said, for me, when you get those funded accounts and you have 1 or 2 of those trades, Jesus Christ, I'll go and buy a Rolex. Anyway, I'll keep you guys updated on that strategy. There still needs more data in it. I need to find out what the drawdown is, what the average win rate is, what the actual RR is. So I'll do a stream on that when I have a little bit more data. But it's certainly for me something that is very exciting, I have to say. Anyway, but I mean, this is not me, by the way. This is not me changing from the breakout. That breakout is there. It's not me going into the cycle of doom, changing my strategy at all. My breakout retest, that just works. That's worked for years. I don't even need to think about it. But this one, is very exciting. So we'll see how it goes. Anyway, thanks guys. I appreciate you joining. I've droned on enough today. I need to go. I'm gonna go play with some Warzone. I've done enough looking at the charts, and I'll do a stream tomorrow because I didn't do it on Monday, and then I'll do it on Friday as well. All right, guys, take care. Thanks for joining. I appreciate it. And if you're watching, by the way, if you can like the video, that'd be great. I'm supposed to tell you that. If you're watching and you're not subscribed, sub to the channel, man. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. I'll see you tomorrow. Trade safe. Peace.